Class, today we're going to talk about Mormon settlement patterns. So we'll talk about basic history, where they came from, what they did when they first got to Utah, why they settled where they settled, what its impact has today on us, and what it means for us, and what it also looks like in present day. The Mormon pioneers were members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as Latter-day Saints, who migrated across the United States from the Midwest to the Salt Lake Valley, what is today the U.S. state of Utah. At the time of the ceasefire and planning of the Exodus in 1846, the territory was owned by the Republic of Mexico, which soon after went to war with the United States over the annexation of Texas. Salt Lake Valley soon became American territory as a result of this war. The journey was taken by about 78,000 people, beginning with advance parties set up by church fathers in March 1846. This occurred after the assassination of the Mormon founder, Joseph Smith. The well-organized wagon train migration began in earnest in April 1847, and the period including the flight from Missouri in 1838 to Nauvoo is known as the Mormon Exodus. Under the guidance of Brigham Young, the Mormons stumbled upon what is now known as present-day Salt Lake City.
Although the struggle for survival was difficult in the first years of settlement, the Mormons were better equipped by experience than many other groups to tame the harsh land. They had pioneered other settlements in the Midwest, and their communal religious faith underscored the necessity of cooperative effort. Basic industries developed rapidly. The city was laid out, and building began. Natural resources, including timber and water, were regarded as community property, and the church organization served as the first government. Settlement of outlying areas began as soon as possible. Bountiful, Farmington, Ogden, Tooele, Provo, and Manti were settled by 1850. Immigration had swelled the population to 1,380, half of whom were farm families. The typical family of 1850 consisted of two parents in their 20s or early 30s and 3 children. A leader was generally chosen by church authorities to head each settlement, and others were selected to provide basic skills for the new community. Small settlements were frequently forged with log cabins arranged in a protective square. Okay, class, these are some main points that we discussed so far. Mormon pioneers arrived in Salt Lake in 1847. Mormons settled along the Mormon corridor due to access to natural resources for farming and establishing settlements. And these early towns comprise the largest cities in the state today. And Ms. Shauna, will you make sure that Isabel is aware of these main points and is caught up on the information that we've discussed so far? Thank you. So class, as we've already just discussed some of the main points about Mormon settlement, I thought it'd be interesting and it'd be good for you to hear from another source, just kind of a basic history of the Mormon settlement and how they migrated north of Salt Lake and south of Salt Lake, even as far down to Southern California, in particular San Diego. And this is a short movie clip. Make sure that you're paying attention and make sure that you take notes.
A corridor of primary settlement quickly extended north from Salt Lake up to Brigham City. Further northward progression was slowed for several years. It was feared that the climate was too cold and the growing season too short for good agriculture, particularly in the Cache Valley. The migration south of Salt Lake, however, was continuous and steady. There was a solid line of settlements to Parowan and Cedar City by 1856. Because of a desire to secure an ocean outlet for the landlocked Mormon Empire, Brigham Young planned for a port at San Diego, California. San Bernardino was settled the same year as the new towns in southern Utah, and in 1855, Las Vegas was created as a supply point from the Wasatch to the Pacific. During the early settlement period, Young created a perpetual immigration fund to help immigrants from the British Isles. The fund financed the transportation for approximately 27,000 people from Liverpool to Salt Lake City, between 1848 and 1855.
Okay, now that that's over, what I'd like for you guys to do is to get into groups of 2 or 3 people, and I want you to think about these following questions. The first question was, what were your thoughts about the video? And as you guys talk about that, then I want you to start thinking a little bit more about the content, and that is, where can you see Mormon settlement influence today? And follow that up with, what are some things that make Utah unique? So I'm going to give you guys about 2 to 3 minutes to discuss in your groups, and then we will discuss as a class. Oh, that's awesome, class. Glad that we had a good discussion. Glad you learned so much, and thank you for your input. And I wanted to show you another quick video segment kind of detailing what it would have been like when the Mormon settlers first got to the Salt Lake Valley, what the terrain was like, what life would have been like a little bit, how difficult it was to survive originally, but then how they were able to learn how to make a way of living, then how from there how they were able to migrate, how they were able to settle different areas, and just thought I would show you a quick clip. Sorry, I recognize that film didn't have any audio with it, but I was hoping that you were able to see what it was like to live during that time. Like, once again, like what the ground was like. You know, how difficult it was to farm, and how difficult it was to settle this area, and what it was like living daily life, what it was like raising kids and bathing kids, and excuse me, just performing daily functions such as shaving or eating. So you're able to see kind of a few clips of that in there. And so, anyways, I want you guys to get together in groups, actually more in partners. With I wanted to partner. I want Brittany. I want her with Priscilla, and I want Sean with Jet, and I want James. I want him to go with Ben. And so those are only exceptions. Everyone else, find a partner and talk amongst your partner for 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss. Class, hey, once again, thanks for sharing your thoughts with me. I really appreciate it. I really hope that this section has been meaningful and helpful to you, helpful to understand that since you live in the state of Utah, understanding that of what it was like for those that came before you, that established these places, and where you live now, or these places that you go and visit. When you go to Salt Lake, or when you go up to Ogden, or when you go to Logan, and thinking about the people that went before and that established these areas, it gives a lot more meaning and context and purpose to your visits, and even to where you live now. I think it provides a lot of wonderful insight and in a unique perspective. And for me, especially when I learn about these things, it's humbling to me. And I hope that for you guys, it's been able to be beneficial, and some of these things have kind of stuck out to you, and that when you go home, you can talk with your parents and share some of the neat things that you've learned in class. And so, thanks again for paying attention. Thanks for working hard and listening, and I hope that this lesson and this section has been able to help you out.